A pre-sentence report was ordered and completed. We are here today for the purposes of sentencing, where there will be a joint recommendation between the parties for community control sanctions.
Sibbert.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I've gotten to know Mr. Sanders over the course of this case, and he has always been polite and kind and pleasant to work with. This was a really bad day for him. He had been at a family gathering where his sister had recently began a relationship with an individual who Mr. Sanders didn't feel was up to her standards and was just not a good person with his own criminal issues and things of that nature. A violent person. Ultimately, Mr. Sanders got into a dispute at that party. He was essentially chased out of that party by the sister's boyfriend and these other guys. Drove home, fired his gun into the air to scare them off. They did, in fact, or to warn them off. I'm not sure they were actually scared, but they left. Mr. Sanders went inside the house or inside the apartment after that, and tried to just calm down. But then his girlfriend and him were arguing, and things got out of hand, and he was like, "I'm out of here, I'm leaving." She tried to stop him. He shoved her out of the way, and he did leave. He had his gun with him. However, the tampering comes from leaving the gun behind. He did separate the gun so as to not have somebody find it and them to injure themselves or someone else. He was polite with the police at the time, although he didn't give a lengthy statement, but he was polite and cooperative with them.
Well, not really. I mean,
well,
when they asked him what happened to the gun, didn't he say, "I don't know what you're talking about"?
Yes, he did.
That's not cooperative.
He did not. He was scared to admit that he had the firearm.
Well, they already knew he had the firearm. That's why they asked him the question. And they were told he had the firearm by.
I think they just had gotten the report of the gunshot.
All right.
Regardless, Mr. Sanders, when he got out of jail, he did immediately contact me and was like, I'm worried that gun is out there, and I want to get it to the police. So I contacted the prosecutor's office to find out whether the police had already had the gun or not, and if that was something that we could facilitate. The prosecutor's office at that time didn't see anything indicating that they had the gun. So I sent Mr. Sanders to the police department. He went to the police department, gave them a statement that he had, of what had happened, and that he had taken the gun apart and where the pieces were, and they were like, "Okay, it's okay, we already found it." So Mr. Sanders did ultimately try to do the right thing. He was worried, he was concerned about it. He did call me as soon as he got out of jail and said, "Hey, I want to deal with this, even though it's going to, further incriminate me." Whether they had or hadn't found the gun, it was going to be an incriminating statement, and he was willing to go and make that statement to the police regardless. Mr. Sanders is close with his mom. I did speak with his mom at the beginning of this case when he was in jail. His mom was similarly very nice and, just indicated that this was very out of character for Mr. Sanders, and that the relationship with the mother of his child had sort of gone downhill and contributed to how this happened. Mr. Sanders has indicated to me that he knew he should have ended this relationship sooner because things, had happened, and she had oftentimes threatened to call the police over things, and it had just sort of been escalating. Mr. Sanders he had been with her for a very long time though, so that was a difficult choice to make, and they have a child together who is 8, and his son, he still spends a ton of time with his son as much as he can, under the circumstances, and will continue to be involved in his son's life despite that relationship ending. Of course, that relationship did end after this incident, but he has honestly not even spoken negatively of her, really, towards me, which I think also is indicative of Mr. Sanders' character. I have every expectation that he will continue to co-parent in a healthy and productive way for his son, and that Mr. Sanders will continue to be, productive and a contributing member of society. He did get 2 new jobs after he was terminated from the job that he had because he went to jail. I even asked him, oh, that was a really good job. Why didn't you just try to go get it back? And he said, really, basically what I took away from it was that he was just too ashamed to have to show up at a job that he had respect for him, where they respected him, and for him to, have to admit that he had been in jail, and because it's just not like him. So I would just ask that you take all of that into account. I know that he deeply, deeply regrets the course of events that occurred that day and the way he handled things, and that certainly if he could, go back and do things differently, he would. I certainly think he's learned from it, and again, I just know that he does have genuine remorse in this matter. Thank you, Your Honor.
What do you want to tell me?
I just regret that night happened, and I just want to move forward with my life after this.
Okay, so why in the world did you act like you were in the wild, wild west and shoot your gun twice in the air?
I was just trying to run off people that was trying to get at me.
Okay, where were you when you fired those shots?
In front of my apartment.
Which is where?
East Lake.
What apartment is it?
Lake Torrance Towers, like right by Walmart.
Okay. And where were you exactly when you shot off the gun?
In the door, like.
In the doorway of the apartment complex?
Yeah, in the front.
Okay. Where did those rounds land?
What do you mean? I'm not sure.
What?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, you shot the gun. Show me how you shot the gun.
Just up.
Okay. And where did so they went somewhere. Where did they land?
I'm guessing the shells, they dropped by my foot. If that's
Well,
what
the
you're
shells
asking.
did, but where did the rounds land?
I'm not sure, sir.
You're not sure. That's the point of the question. You're not sure. Okay. So, who was chasing you?
My sister's boyfriend.
Okay. Who was that?
His name, Charles?
Charles who?
I don't know his last name.
Okay. Where had he chased you from?
From Euclid Beach, the actual beach.
The apartments?
No, the beach. You
The
ever been?
beach. Where? Which beach?
Euclid Beach.
Where the amusement park used to be and where the apartments are?
Yeah.
Okay. What were you doing at the beach?
It was my sister's birthday party.
And what happened at the birthday party such that whatever the guy's name was chasing you?
We've had run-ins, but we usually try and stay away from each other, but he
Well,
came.
then why did you go to the same party he was at?
No, I was trying to finish. He came at the end of the party, and that's when it kind of escalated from there.
Okay, how much were you drinking that night?
I think I had my fair share.
Huh?
I had my fair share.
Define that for me.
I'll say 3 or 4 shots, I guess.
Okay. So you got in a dispute with this guy at the beach,
Yes.
and then what happened?
Then we kind of got into a scuffle. His friends kind of jumped in, so I tried to leave, and they followed me home.
Hey, where did you go? How did you get home?
I got in my car and I left.
You drove down Lakeshore?
Yes.
To where?
To my apartments.
Okay. I know you drove to the apartment. How'd you get there? What's the route you took?
What's the route there, actually?
Huh?
I think I got on the freeway.
You don't remember?
No.
So what'd you do? Go up, 185th to the freeway or what?
Yeah.
And these guys were following you the whole way?
Mm-hmm.
And you turned into to the parking lot of the apartment complex, and what'd you see?
I still seen them, so.
Did they come into the apartment complex?
No, but I seen them go into, it's a fence, and then it's another apartments. They went in that one. So I just went in mine and
And
grabbed
what,
it.
and when you got in there, you went in your apartment and got your gun?
Yes, sir.
And you went back out?
Yes, sir.
Where were they?
They were still like in the other parking lot,
Doing what?
just sitting in the car.
And then you shot the gun off twice.
Yes,
What did they do after you did that?
that's when they left.
Okay. How do you know they left? Did you stand there and watch them?
Yes.
Where'd they go?
I'm not sure after that. I didn't see them the rest of the night.
Where'd you go then?
I just left because I was already arguing with her at the beginning of the day, so I didn't want to stay there either.
You left where?
My apartment.
And where did you go?
I went to my old house back on Lakeshore.
So you got in your car and drove off.
Yes.
And when did you hide the gun?
When I came back, that's when me and her actually, that's when the altercation with her happened.
When did you come back? That same day?
Yeah, a few hours later.
And what happened?
She was asking me what happened, and I just told her I didn't want to talk about it. And we kind of had some bad words with each other because I was kind of blaming her that I even went to the party.
Why was it her fault that you went to the party?
I wanted to stay home that day, but it was...
But what, she forced you to go?
No, but she was at the house, so I wanted to get away from her at the beginning of the day.
So it's her fault you went to the party?
No, I'm not saying that. I mean, I was
Sound like
blaming
you
her
were saying
then.
that.
I was blaming her then, but
That's kind of silly, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Especially after everything that happened. So
Okay, so you get in this argument with her, you leave again, where'd you go? You went back to the apartment, you blamed her for having you go to the party, you get in an argument with her, you leave again, right?
yeah, that's when the police and everything came.
Okay, where'd you go?
In the woods next to the apartment,
Why did you go there?
because I was scared.
Running from the police?
Yeah,
And what'd you do with the gun?
I left it in the woods
Where?
next to the apartment where I was hiding in the bushes.
What'd you do with the magazine?
I put it behind my apartment building.
Okay. So when did the police talk to you about where the gun was?
The next day, I believe.
Okay, and what'd you tell them?
I didn't know.
You didn't know nothing about no gun, right?
Yes,
Okay. Why did you tell them that?
because I was scared to give it to him.
Okay. Were you drunk when you shot this thing off?
Yes.
It doesn't seem like you appreciate the gravity of what you did, firing off that gun in that neighborhood. Sounds like you think it was no big deal.
I'm not saying that.
You're not saying that. What, you don't have a juvenile record, right?
No, I have a question though, sir.
Go ahead.
When you say that neighborhood, what do you like?
The neighborhood you were in an apartment complex with a Walmart across the street, and an apartment complex next door. That's what I mean. There's people that live around there. There's houses that live around there, that exist there.
That's every neighborhood though.
That's right. Which is exactly why you shouldn't shoot off your goddamn gun in the middle of a neighborhood. You never thought about where it was going to come down, right?
Not at the moment, no.
No. Or not when you were sitting here when I asked you about it 10 minutes ago. You didn't think about it. What's with this domestic violence in Euclid from 21. So what's with the assault and domestic violence in November or August of 21? That got dismissed. She didn't show up, right? Neither did you, apparently, because in November they put a warrant out for you. So where does your son live? How old is he? And how do you see him? How often do you see him? Where does he go to school? Crazy. How long have you been working at that Amazon job? And what about the delivery? So you're working Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then on Thursday night,
Thursday through told her.
pretty busy. You know, you have a pretty heavy schedule.
Yeah.
Maybe get
All rise. Court's now in session.
Seated. Mr. Knopf?
Thank you, Your Honor. We're here on the matter of the State of Ohio versus Avante Bolden, case number 25 CR 001654. The defendant is present in open court with their attorney, John Fatica. We are set today for a pretrial. We're set today for a sentencing hearing. We were last in court for a pretrial on January 6th when the defendant pled guilty to count 2 of the indictment, count 3 of the indictment, and count 4. Count 2 being unauthorized use, the misdemeanor of the first degree. Count 3 being grand theft auto, a felony of the 4th degree. Count 4 being a misdemeanor of the first degree and misdemeanor theft. Since then, a pre-sentence report and victim impact statement have been submitted. The state has had time to review those reports and the victim impact statement. The defendant has 0 days of jail time credit.
Tika?
Good morning, Your Honor. I've had an opportunity to review the PSR. We're ready to go forward.
Go ahead.
I'd like to highlight the fact that while acknowledging that Mr. Bolden has a fairly extensive juvenile record, this case is his first felony conviction as an adult. He's 18 years old, high school graduate. He's been at the Lake County Jail for 83 days. Again, we acknowledge that he doesn't have credit for time on this case because he's serving juvenile sentences, but he has had an opportunity to be in the adult facility, reflect on what he's done. You can see from the PSR that he's had a less than stable living environment growing up. He understands, I believe, that he's at a crossroads at this point. He's contemplated a military career. He's contemplated going to college. At one point, in speaking with Dave Farron of our juvenile office, indicated that Mr. Bolden was accepted into college. I think he'd like to follow up with that. We'd ask the court to consider community control sanctions in this case.
Mr. Bolden, what do you want to tell me?
Is there anything I can say wrong?
Yeah.
What is he trying to like ask me to say? Just what happened? Or,
Whatever you want to say, it's your turn to speak.
do I stand up?
You don't have to.
Your Honor, I just want to let it be known that like at this point in my life, like I've done bad, and that's the only thing that matters right now. And I have to take the time to understand that I've done wrong, and I really do understand that I've done wrong, and that and the thing I did was wrong. It was impulsive, and I didn't think it through. And it's not even just a but. It's I care, you know. From now forward, I have to grow, because if I don't grow, my life could keep looking just like this, and it could look a lot worse. And I know that truly and dearly. I know that.
When did you come to that realization?
I came to that realization when I know this doesn't matter, but I came to this realization when I was in Virginia County's jail, and I was out there, and I met a few people that told me like, I know you're like, then they told me like you're gonna be going back home dealing with this case, and I knew that, and they said you have to change your life because this is not the road you want to go down, and I surely noticed that. And then when I came back to this county, it even hit me even harder because my family lives out here. My family lives in this community, and for my family to live in the community and for me to hurt the community, that means
Yeah.
one, I don't care about
But you've been hurting your community through 11 cases in juvenile court. So you've been doing this. For the last 10 years, almost 10 years, you've been doing the same stuff. It's serious stuff, not little nothing stuff, serious stuff, over and over and over. A number of times, when you were in juvenile court, you were not sent to DYS by Judge Lawson until I think maybe the third or fourth, or I don't even know. I lost track. That had no impact on you because you came out and you started doing the same stuff. Right?
I'll just speak.
Yeah.
It did have an impact, and this isn't an this is for me. This isn't an excuse. Like he's like Mr. Fatika said, I got accepted to a college coming from there, and I had everything set for me. They put me in a program in Akron. I was supposed to stay there, and I was gonna go to Hawken and Nelsonville from there. But I know this might not matter to you, but like I wanted to come back to my family before I went to that college coming up this semester. Supposed to be there this semester. And I wanted to come see my family. I thought that my mom told me numerous amount of times, don't come back, just don't. And I said, Mom, I just want to see my family. I want to be in Painesville. I'm not going to do anything wrong. And when I came back out here and I noticed that one of a close friends to me passed away, I came back out here and it just crushed me. And that's honestly how I felt. Reaction, we have a reaction, I have a will to do two choices, get in trouble or not get in trouble. And I chose that. But my mind was set on going to that college. And if I would have never came back out here thinking that I would be strong enough to handle it, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But now that we are.
But didn't you go to Georgia after this and do the same thing in Georgia?
I did, Your Honor.
Okay.
I did, and I honestly, I didn't want to hurt anybody. I didn't want to. I was just running. I was running away from my feelings.
Where did the GMC Terrain end up?
I think, honestly, I went to Columbus with that car.
Okay.
I went to Columbus with that car. I remember I didn't even have a destination. Like,
So where is it?
I'm pretty sure it's in the cops' arms because I don't.
It ain't. Nobody knows where it is.
Well, I left it. I just left it. I just left it. Like,
Where's the football equipment?
when I got the car, I just took everything out of it. Like, I didn't keep anything. Like, I literally just got in the car. It was impulsive, Your Honor. Like,
I know, but the question is, where is it? Because the computer was found.
a computer?
Some other things were, yeah, the computer that was in the car that you threw out the car. But the helmet and shoulder pads, $2,000 worth of stuff wasn't found.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm be honestly, like really honest with you. I don't know where that's at. I really don't. I just threw everything. Like,
Where did you throw it? That's what he's asking.
I was over by, I think, like I don't know, like Perkins, like by Minter Avenue, and I stopped over here, and I just stopped the car, and I just threw everything out. Like, so I don't know if it's still there. Like, I don't. Like, I don't know if, like, and honestly, like, I don't know if I could pay, I don't know if I can work to pay for that money back, but that's something that I would do.
When you took that car, you were in Cleveland Heights. What were you doing in Cleveland Heights?
I know I went to Cleveland. I was seeing a couple. I know I was with a guy I met out there. I probably was out there with him.
Who?
I forget his name. We had just met, and I know I went out there. Like I was just.
How'd you know how to find him if you just met?
Because he was out here, and then he asked for me to drive him out to Cleveland, and I did. So, and then that's the only way I remember I was in Cleveland Heights for. Like, I wouldn't have been in Cleveland Heights for any other reason, but to see him probably.
And you were on St. Clair near Eddy Road. What were you doing there?
Probably just, I don't know, I was just driving. I don't know. Like, I was just driving. Like,
When did you go to Columbus?
huh? Well, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
When did you go to Columbus?
I went to Columbus right after Cleveland. I remember it was just like in through the
There's
night.
like an 8-hour difference between when you're on St. Clair and when the camera first picks you up in Columbus. Where were you those 8 hours?
I don't remember, Your Honor.
It's very easy not to believe a word you say.
Your Honor, everything I've done, like, I went in that car and I just drove. I didn't even have.
Well,
How
many cars did it take before you got into one that was unlocked in that parking lot?
in the parking lot?
In the parking lot where you stole this terrain, how many cars did you go in and check before you found this one that was unlocked?
I only went in that one.
No, well, how many cars did you check to see if they were unlocked before you took this car?
I literally only went, like, I don't remember going in any other cars. Your Honor.
Okay. Well,
Because in that one, I looked at that one, and I just remember getting in it, like honest. That's the honest truth. Like, I just really remember getting in that car. Like, I picked that one and I just got in it and left. Like, I didn't say, oh, I know this person.
I think the cameras that are focused on that lot tell something different. That you check the number of cars. Some were unlocked, you took some stuff, and then you got in this one. So, So you weren't, this wasn't an impulse, you were looking for stuff to steal. You checked the number of cars for quite a substantial period of time before you took this car. So it wasn't an impulse.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if I said impulse. I wasn't like, I wasn't thinking. But I didn't, how I honestly feel like I didn't want to hurt anybody. I didn't say, oh, I know these people, I'm gonna just
Doesn't
go.
matter if you know them.
Like and that's right. I didn't want to physically hurt anybody is what I'm trying to say. I didn't want to I just did it. Like I don't, but now I know, like in that state where the mindset that I was in that time, like in that moment, can't compare it to how I am now.
I don't know that, okay, because you have no credibility when you talk. You just don't.
You're right, Your Honor. But that has to show. I have to show that.
And all you've shown is your inability to live inside the bounds of what the law is. You're outside for 9 years, from your first time in 16 until this fall of 25, all you've done is wreak havoc everywhere you go. And not only up until this, but after this.
Mr. O'Donnell, Judge, like this is how I feel. Like I was in that, like I was wrong for how I did. Like I can't, I just don't I don't know how to say like I'm sorry, and I knew I was wrong. And like I know at this moment the only thing that matters is how I treated those victims. That had it could have had a financial ripple effect, a physical ripple effect, a mental ripple effect on them. And I genuinely understand that. And if I can pay anything back, if I can do anything out there to give back to them,
Well,
I will work.
What you can do when you get back out there is to live your life without being a criminal. That's what you can do.
And that's
And
what
until you put a substantial period of time behind you where you're living the right way, then nobody's going to believe what you say because they see what you do.
Yeah. Mr. O'Donnell, and this is my time right now. I'm not gonna say this is my first, my last, my third, my fifth chance. I've had chances, but I haven't given up on myself. I have not given up on myself. I haven't. I said I want to still go to college, and if college doesn't work out, I, like Mr. Fatiga said, I want to go and listen to the Army, and I can do that. I can do that with in a timely fashion, in a timely manner. I can do that with good behavior. I can do those things. I'm staying strong. A person that isn't staying strong and doesn't care wouldn't say that. I genuinely want to do that for the rest of my life. Is not do a crime. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, and that's my honest feeling. That's how I feel. It's not fun. It's not cool. I'm hurting my family. I'm sad most of the day, but I'm staying strong, and I'm staying strong through all. I did wrong in the past, and it's not even a but. I care. I shouldn't have done those things, and I see that, and I know that. And it's not even just the fact that, oh, I'll get out of jail, take these cuffs off, because honestly, Mr. O'Donnell, when I've been to jail before, like you said, and every time I got out, I felt that feeling of, oh, that was too easy. And this time, I don't have that feeling. I've been stressed. This isn't fun. I don't want to do a crime ever again in my life. I'm not going to walk out of these doors or whenever I go home and say, like, and say that this wasn't, no, this is, Mr. O'Donnell, I like, if I can just tell you, put you in my mind, like it's so stressful. I can't do it. But it's making me stronger. It's making me stronger. I don't want to do this no more. Whatever, I know I did wrong, and I care. I genuinely care about them, my victims, and my life. I have a will and a choice now. I either can change my life and go to the college that accepted me, change my life, go to the military, change my life, get a good job, change my life, go with my family. I have a caring family that cares for me. Jail, I've done it. I've done it. Yes, going to juvenile for those years and going through all that stuff, yes, it's bad, but that stuff has built me. Because now I can look back and say, I've went through all that stuff for that long. I've lost family, lost my grandma, lost cousins, and I'm still losing people right now as we speak to gun violence. I'm still losing them. I don't want to go through this no more. Because if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm either going to be dead or I'm going to be in here for a very long time, and there's people in here that are fighting long amounts of time, and I don't want to be on their boat. And this is my chance to change that. And I'm pretty sure I only got one last chance, and not even coming from you, but that's coming from the judge across the street. Judge, he told me, like, I see good in you. And he sent, like, Mr. Fatiga said, they sentenced me to time. He could have gave me a amount of time, but he seen good in me, and I can't let that go. And Mr. O'Donnell, you don't know me. You know my charges. You know how I've done. But the new me is nobody can knock me down. Nothing. I've been through it. I've seen it. It's not fun.
So what I do has no impact on that, right? I don't control how you live your life. What does it matter what I do today?
What you do for me, it matters. The reason why it matters for what you do, because I have a choice.
Right, you have a choice regardless of what I do.
Right.
What do I do about all these people that live out here that are the victims of you all these years? What do I do about that?
You look, and this is the right, I don't know if this is the right answer, but you keep me away. You keep me away from them because you don't know if I'm going to hurt them. But I don't want to hurt them. I don't. Genuinely. None of my chases.
Okay, that's fine, except you do.
And I did. And I
Right.
did. And I did. Mr. O'Donnell, I definitely did. Right now where I'm
So
standing.
isn't there two parts to this whole thing? One, punishing you and making you accountable for what you did. That's one thing. Trying to figure out what to do with you in the future, right?
Oh.
That's what I have to do.
Mr. O'Donnell, look, I don't have to promise you. I don't have to promise nobody right now. I'm promising myself. I promise myself.
Well, it doesn't do any good to promise me.
But you're gonna be somebody, and everybody that's watching and everybody that's here, they're gonna say, what is he gonna do now? What is he gonna do next?
Who, me or you?
Me. What is
That's
Avante
right.
Cassell Maurice Bolden going to do next from this standpoint? Do I deserve discipline? Yes, I deserve consequences. Have I already been? I'm not speaking. Virginia's time doesn't matter, but I was in Virginia since September all the way up till now. Do I deserve time? Yes, I deserve time. But do I want time? No, nobody wants time in jail. But do you have to want to change? You need that. I need to change, because if I don't change, I know what it looks like. I can see it right now. I can not only see it, but feel it.
Where is your father right now?
My father is locked up. He's incarcerated in Ross Prison.
Right. So you have a pretty good example of where you're gonna end up if you keep all this nonsense up. Pretty good idea, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
And how long has he been locked up?
I think 14 years. Oh, not 4, although because it's like 10, 14 years. But like I only seen him like once in my life.
So the whole time you've been running around causing problems in Lake County, he's been in prison. So you have a prime example right in front of you about what happens when you do what you've been doing, right?
Yes, Your Honor. Can I say something?
Uh-huh.
And also, like I said, like I told you, when I'm 18, okay, I've been juvenile. Juvenile is rehabilitation. I've done rehabilitation classes. I went through that process. I got accepted in college in juvenile. I did that. Most kids. I'm not saying most kids aren't doing that, but most kids aren't doing it. And
So when did you get accepted into college?
I got accepted to Hawken and Nelsonville for business management and entrepreneurship when I was in juvenile. And
Where is that?
That's in Athens County.
And when did you get accepted into that?
I got accepted August. I got an exception letter when I was incarcerated in DYS in Madison, Ohio, in the month of August, and I got that exception letter, and I cherished it. And instead of listen, and instead of me coming back, man, this is so real. Instead of me coming back, I told my mom, and she was shocked. But I said, Mom, I'm not coming back home. This is the honest truth, Mr. O'Donnell. I said, I'm not coming back home. There wasn't a reason. I said, I'm not coming back to Painesville. Why? I'm not coming back to Painesville because once I heard my close friend passed away, I knew the sadness.
Who was your close friend?
Will, they call him Will.
Sheffy?
Yeah,
How did he die?
Hey, he got killed. He got shot over like,
Couple blocks away.
yeah.
Why?
I guess it was over because like just I don't know. I guess the other dudes didn't like him.
Right, why?
I don't really know all that, but like I just know.
Well, because he'd been doing the same thing.
Hmm?
He and the guys all these guys that were involved in that been doing the same stupid shit for more than a decade. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's why. Finally, they escalated. And now he's dead and the other guy's dead too, that was in the car. Not out of that incident, but out of another one. Running around with a bunch of numbskulls. And he got shot and killed. All this is in front of you. All of it. And so you're telling me a month after you get accepted into college, you come back here, and Sheffy died in June. Okay, he didn't die. He died before you got back here. He died before you got accepted into college. Okay? So you using the excuse that you came back here, all set to go into college, and a month later you come back here, or within a month you come back here, and you start all this nonsense over again. So there was no trigger that once you got back here and found out Sheffy died, that you went off the rails again.
You're right. It wasn't. But it just hit, man. It just hit me like it hit a lot different. You know, like you can be away and hear it, but then when you come back out and you just see like this is where I lived for most of my and like everybody dies, but like I just reacted different. But
Well, everybody dies. You're right about that. Okay. So I can believe you when you tell me that. Okay, everybody dies. Everybody doesn't die the same way.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't put themselves in a position where they have a pretty good chance of dying. Okay, not everybody does that. The ones who do, a lot of them end up dead because that's what they chose. That's a position they chose to put themselves in. Or if they don't die, like all the other dingalings that were involved in that, most likely are going to be in prison for a long time. So that seems to be the choice that you've made for the last 9 years, is to either put yourself in a position of dying prematurely or ending up in prison for a long time. That's where you've put yourself.
I can assure you now.
You can't assure me of anything.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
You can't assure the three people in the back of the courtroom of anything. Okay, you're telling me you assured your mom that you were gonna go to college and you were all set. You assured her that in August. And in September, all this shit happens. You can't assure anybody of anything. You can't, according to what you've just told me in the last 20 minutes, you can't assure yourself of anything. Because you were going to college. And then you get right back at it. So the word assure and you don't mix right now. Now, they may in the future. You may be 10 years from now, you may be a successful person, never in trouble again after this. I don't know. You can't assure me of that. You can't assure you of that. Anything else you want to say?
Yes, yes, there is actually. I just want to let you know that since I've been here, since I've been locked up, I've really been, it's not easy, okay? It's not easy, me being in.
Who said it was supposed to be easy?
You're right, sorry, but it's not I don't want to do it no more. I'm done. I just can't. This isn't juvenile. This will it's breaking. It will break you. And if you don't get back up, and if you don't see what this is trying to do, you either go crazy or and I'm staying strong, Mr. O'Donnell. You just don't understand. I could say I don't have to say nothing about college. I know. No, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And to be honest, I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. O'Donnell, because this is key. I don't want to be here. Do I deserve to be in jail for what I've done? Yes, but Mr. O'Donnell, I just don't. I've learned, out of this time I've been here, this is not, I just don't want to do it. It's too hard. It's too hard. It's mentally hard. The physical aspect of jail but it's mentally draining and it's just, I just don't want to do it. I just can't. Juvenile, they helped me for years, and the last thing I did was got accepted to college, and I see that it's I don't know, I just can it's wow, I got accepted to college after all that stuff I went through, and I got accepted to college, and I'm in here right now, and I asked, and I don't know you are spirituality, but I asked God to I said, God, I want a story, I want to go through hard times, and he said, okay, you were gonna go through hard times, and right now this is the hard time to where it's God's giving me a will, and I'm giving myself a will and a choice. You either do this or you do this, and it's right here again in my face, and I don't have to promise you, I know this for myself. I'm taking it because I've been through everything, and I can still go to school. It's right there. That's a gift. God blessed me with that. He said, here, you've been through this all. Here, I'm going to put this in front of you. You can do this, and it's true. It's right there. Or you can do this, and I can see it clear as day. I'm not letting it go. I just can't let it go.
All right, Mr. Fatika, anything else you want to present?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Knopf?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state's recommending the defendant serve a prison term. I'm going to go over the lead defendant's history. 2016, he had attempted arson with 1 probation violation. 2021, he had disorderly conduct. 2021 as well, assault. 2021 as well, burglary, where he was sent to a community correctional facility. 2022, a vehicle trespass. 2022, possession of cocaine, where he was sent to the ICR program in the juvenile court. He was then released from the ICR program, and shortly, roughly 3 months later, he stole a vehicle and crashed it over here in front of the Morley Library. He was sentenced to ICR program again. Within 2 months, he then assaulted a CO down there and was sent to the Department of Youth Services. He got out of the Department of Youth Services and committed more offenses. He committed a weapons of disability in 2025. He committed this offense in 2025. He committed more offenses at Lake Erie College, where he was stealing things from college students' vehicles. I know the defendant then told you today that he had everything set to go to college, which may be true, I'm not sure. But what I can tell you is that instead of, going to college, he decided to go steal cars. I've been hearing the college line for about 3 years since I've been a prosecutor at this point, Your Honor. He did get it right when he says nobody knows what he's going to do next. However, if the pattern is to show us anything, it's that he's going to get out and commit more crimes. And again, Your Honor, he was on juvenile parole at the time of the offense. So I do believe a prison term is appropriate for this. I understand he is 18. However, in order to protect the community, prison would be appropriate, and all rehabilitation efforts have proven to be futile. Thank you.
The juvenile parole, what's the status of that? He gave, across the street, he gave him 180 days, right?
Correct.
So he gets out in June on that, but what's the status of juvenile parole?
I can't speak to that, Your Honor. I don't know. There are juvenile parole officers in the back here. If you would
Do
like
you have
to-
any information on that?
Your Honor, yes. I'm Ron Edwards, Ohio Department of Youth Services. Yes, currently he is still actively open on parole. Typically, we have jurisdiction over him until he's 21 years old. But speaking with the prosecutor, Rachel, at the juvenile division, we were kind of actually waiting to see what happens with this case, to see how we want to proceed, if we were going to keep this matter open, or if we are actually going to close him from the juvenile jurisdiction, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he could go, if the violation occurs, he can go, where would he have to go?
That would be discretion of the judge. I know this last occurrence went to this new case where he got sentenced to 180 days.
Yeah.
The judge chose to keep him in local jurisdiction
Okay.
instead of sending him back to DOS, Your Honor.
Okay, but that's still open even though we sentenced him to?
No, that matter is now closed. Since he's been sentenced, he'll start that sentence, I believe, after March 3rd is when he'll start serving after those 6 months.
Okay, okay. All right. So this is 2 M1s and an F4, right? The F4 is for this vehicle that was stolen, the Terrain, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I've considered the pre-sentence report, and I've also gotten the victim impact statements from the college student whose stuff you stole and hasn't been recovered. And that was about $2,047. And the car that you stole and abandoned, that was never found, $7,500. That was a 2015 GMC Terrain that had a fair market value of $7,500, but I bet it was worth a hell of a lot more to those folks. 10-year-old car that runs pretty well, certainly worth more than $7,500. I have considered what you have said, what counsel has said. I've considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. So you have a terrible juvenile record. Not a bad juvenile record, a terrible juvenile record. And as I've said, you've demonstrated your desire, at least up and until the fall of 2025, to live outside the bounds of a civil society and decency in general. So you've got this F4, which now subjects you to 18 months in prison, to adult prison. That's the potential penalty on that. So the question is what to do with you. Now, when I sentence you here in a minute, okay, it's got nothing to do with what you just said, okay? Because I don't believe what you said. And nobody should believe what you say. Because you've been through this enough times over there, for the most part, that you have a good idea of what you need to say to get what you want to accomplish, right? Unfortunately for you, you become experienced in that regard. That you like to say right before your fate is determined what you think the person who's going to determine it wants to hear. Okay? But I don't believe you. But you shouldn't take offense to that, because I believe almost nobody sitting there, because everybody plays that same game. Okay? But all that's beside the point. The question is what to do with you at this point. That's all that matters right now. So, Mr. Knopf has been screwing around with you in juvenile court and now here for the last 3 years. Did you know that? You recognize him? He's been on a lot of your cases, okay? So he knows you well. He doesn't believe the least bit in you, okay? For good reason. And I think if you're honest with yourself, you're going to acknowledge there's good reason for that, okay? So, your history as a juvenile, for the most part, has been theft offenses, some drug offenses, a weapons offense, okay? But for the most part, you're a thief, and not a very good one, I might add, because you keep getting caught. Okay? So what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to place you on community control for 5 years. And after you're done with your juvenile offense over here, on count 2, you're going to serve another 90 days in jail. Just on count 2. You're not to have any drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You've never gotten a driver's license, huh?
No, Your Honor.
You get a valid driver's license. You're going to get full employment, or you're going to engage in full-time schooling, or you're going to do a combination that involves, that amounts to full-time. You're to have no contact with the individuals that you stole both the vehicles from. You're to pay restitution in the amount of $7,059 to the victim that owned that vehicle. And you're going to pay restitution in the amount of $2,047.76 to the victim whose property is stolen. What's your drug history? What's your drug usage history?
When was the last time you used drugs?
September,
Huh?
like September,
What?
September.
No, what's your drug use history in your life?
Like just like
What have you used and when?
marijuana, and that's it. And alcohol, marijuana a lot, and then alcohol, a few, like just occasionally, but not really like, I don't know.
You're gonna get a drug and alcohol evaluation, and you're gonna follow all recommendations that are made. You're gonna get a mental health evaluation, and follow all recommendations that are made. While you're in serving those 90 days that I gave you, you're gonna well, actually, here's what you're gonna do. The last 30 days of my sentence, you're going to enter into the jail treatment program. Complete that, and follow all recommendations. That'll be the last 30 days of that sentence. And then when you finish that, you're going to enter into the NeoCap program, complete that, and follow all those recommendations. And you're going to get a mental health evaluation. And follow all those recommendations. And you're going to pay the cost and supervision fees in this case. Ms. Wehagen, any other terms?
Your Honor, so the jail treatment program with this, which you said about the drug and alcohol evaluation.
Right.
So that's it, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You understand the terms?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
You have any question about the terms?
You said I'm going to Neo Camp after the 30 days are over?
No, you're going to finish the rest of your juvenile sentence.
Okay.
Then you're going to serve 90 more days from me. The last 30 are going to be in the jail treatment program. So the last 30 of those 90 are the jail treatment program. Then you go to NeoCap after that. Complete that program.
Okay.
Any more questions about that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. If you don't comply with the terms, the state will file a motion to terminate your community control. And if I find you violated, it's 18 months in prison. Now, so by my count, you're going to be over here until probably early September. Then you're going to go to NeoCap for some period of between 4 and 6 months. So about a year from now, you'll either come to the realization that this hasn't worked so well for the last 9.5 years, and you'll do something different, or you'll come out and do the same thing. I don't know. He don't know. He don't know. They don't know. You don't know. But it's completely within your hands. Anything else, Mr. Knopf?
Just to be clear, Your Honor, it's only on count 2, it's 90 days, not the other? not
Only
the
on
other.
count 2,
Okay.
okay? There's a specific reason for that. In case you're wondering, Mr. Fatika could probably explain that to you. Remaining charges are dismissed. Anything else, Mr. Fatika?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
We are not paying us any fee from Monday to Tuesday.
Pled guilty by way of information to one count of violating a protection order, a felony of the 5th degree. At that time, a pre-sentence report and victim impact statement were ordered. The state's understanding that the pre-sentence report has been completed and provided to the court, and that all parties are prepared to go to sentencing. There is no sentencing agreement, and that's the state's understanding. Thank you.
Mr. Novotny?
Your Honor, at this time, we'd ask the court to consider any type of leniency for Mr. Hensley. We would like the court to consider potentially placing him on community control. He would like help and assistance with his mental health, Your Honor, as he believes that is necessary. With regard to what he has been doing, he lives with his mom, who is 92 years old, Your Honor. He is the primary caregiver of her in her daily functions and helps with any needs that she has around the house. Additionally, Your Honor, he does work, he previously worked for Best Asphalt. He's been doing asphalt as a job basis on and off for 15 years. Additionally, Your Honor, he does home maintenance on the side, not only for his mother, but anybody who needs it and around the neighborhood. He is very helpful with that aspect of it. I know he informed me in our previous conversation he is recovering from intestine surgery that he had in June of 2025, and he had surgery to help any type of issues he had in September of 2025. I know such issues have been ongoing and present. Your Honor, he does have 64 days from my understanding. We're just asking for any leniency with the instant matter in front of you today. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Hensley, what do you want to tell me?
I'm just really trying to get this girl out of my life for real, and I knew I probably shouldn't have called, but this is like the 4th time that she's had her TPO against me, and she doesn't go to court and show up for him or this or that, and I was just trying to make sure she went to court or whatever. Just trying to get her stuff back to her, really. I have a car in my driveway. I have suitcases on suitcases full of stuff in my house that really is not even my house. I'm just trying to give it back to her, and she literally just doesn't even want it, I guess. So I was just trying to be as politely, as nicely as I can to get rid of her after 4 years.
So you didn't really do anything wrong here?
No, I mean, I made the phone call, and I sent some text messages for sure. But like I said, she gets a TPO, and then she doesn't follow through with them, so I never know if they're actually standing or not standing. And
Well, you were served with one on December 9th. That said
Yeah,
there was
but-
an order against you.
I know, and I violated it.
Right. Well, you told the probation officer you just wanted her shit out of your house, so why didn't you just throw it out in the street?
Well, I feel bad for her because her mom died like a year, 2 years ago or whatever, and I've been with her for 3 or 4 years, since 22. And her mom died, and then they had to clean her house out, and then all of her stuff, and then pretty much packed it all up for her and moved it into my house, and actually have it in 2 different places. I have it in another house I was renting out in Eastlake. Had a storage.
Why didn't you call the cops and say, I got her stuff here, I got an order?
I did notify
Have
the
her-
police,
have her
and they
come
told me
over
to
and
throw
get
it in the
it.
front yard.
Okay.
Then the TPO came the next day before I got throwing it in the front yard, and then the TPO said not to move it or touch it or anything.
Okay. Ms. Cutts?
Thank you, Your Honor. In this case, the protection order was requested on December 2nd. The defendant was served on December 3rd. The final hearing was on the 9th. This is on the 10th where he begins texting and calling. On that day alone, from 1:40 a.m. until 3 p.m., there were 10 texts and 6 calls, including after law enforcement was there, because law enforcement was there shortly after 2 a.m. So he had made multiple calls and texts. So he seems to be minimizing what he was doing. This was not a one-time question, which would still be a violation, but he repeatedly called. So there's a call at 1:40, a text at 1:41, a text at 1:42, a text at 1:42, a text at 1:43, a call at 1:48, a call at 1:57, a call at 2:04, a text at 2:06, and then they continue 2:41, 2:46, 2:49, and then it jumps to 5 a.m. and then 3 in the afternoon. So this is not a, just checking in. This is obsessive calling and texting after knowing that a protection order was filed on him, if he wanted to know.
Just,
it
it
was-
doesn't sound like he was just trying to inquire as to whether she had gone to court.
That is correct, Your Honor. Plus, there are other ways to find out by calling the court, or he could have gone to the final hearing as well if he chose to do so. So he does appear to be minimizing. The victim has suffered psychological harm. I did speak with her. She did not wish to come today and was having trouble doing a victim impact statement, so one was not submitted. But she did indicate that, she has moved on. She got a protection order, and he just continues. And prior to getting the protection order, he was bothering her as well. And in some of these, he made comments about coming over, which is what kind of got her to call the police as well. She didn't know what he would do if he got there and was concerned for safety.
Even though she had a warrant out of Cuyahoga County, she called the police anyway because she was concerned.
Correct.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. So obviously, the relationship facilitated the offense, and the defendant does have a history of criminal convictions and a juvenile adjudication when he was 14, sounds like, for possessing criminal tools. As an adult, he has a very extensive history. I believe probation indicated it was 33 misdemeanors and 5 felonies, with his record starting in 1997, going all the way to as recently as 2025, where he had a theft conviction. His felonies began in 2020 with possession of cocaine, and then a second conviction of possession of cocaine in 2020 and a felony theft in 2020. He was given the opportunity on probation in those cases. He had multiple probation violations for testing positive as well as new charges. In the first case, he was given opportunities beyond the first probation violation before he was sent to prison. Then in 2022, he had multiple misdemeanor convictions. In 2025, he had an aggravated possession of drugs, F5, with possession of drug paraphernalia. He went to prison. And then also in 2023, an F5 drug possession where he went to prison. So he has had extensive contact with the courts and extensive convictions. He has not responded favorably to previous sanctions based on the probation violations and new charges. He has been to prison 2 times on a total of 5 cases. 4 of those cases were with this court, and 1 was with Cuyahoga County. He does have 64 days credit. The state believes that prison is consistent and that he's not amenable to community control. So we would ask for prison with the 64 days credit with costs and fees, with the knowledge that he could get post-release control. If the court is inclined to give him an opportunity, we would like to be heard on that. Thank you.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report. Listen to Mr. Hensley, listen to counsel. You clearly are not amenable to community control. I'm going to sentence you to 11 months in prison. This is after consideration of 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. Credit for 64 days when you get out. You might be on post-release control for 2 years under the parole authority with conditions. If you violate, the parole authority could send you back to prison for up to 5.5 months. If the violation is a new felony, you could get an additional consecutive prison sentence for the violation, the maximum of which would be the greater of 12 months or the time left under post-release control, and the costs are assessed. Anything else, Ms. Cutts?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Novotny?
No, Your Honor.